everyone, and welcome to another episode of Karen About Wrestling. I'm your host, Karen the Intern, and we have an excellent show in store for you this evening. First of all, I'd like to remind you, of course, that we have tickets for all the live shows at 365prowrestling.com, so check that out and get your tickets now for all the exciting live shows we've got coming up. Also, do you think you could be a wrestler? Maybe you want to think about joining the Pro Wrestling Academy. Check out our socials and see what other training wrestlers have to say about that. And of course, as always, like, subscribe, leave a comment. We love all of that. All right, so my guest this evening, first time on Karen About Wrestling, originally from Duncan, now residing in Surrey, 3 years wrestling. Wrestled with 365 for 5 separate shows already, so that's awesome. Without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest for this evening, Rex Rothschild.
Hello, Karen. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, it is such a pleasure. I always love chatting with the new folks on the show. It's always great to get to know all the local wrestling talent that we've got on and around the island, for sure. So if you're okay with it, maybe we can just dive right into the questions. We've got lots of questions to ask you, for sure. Okay, so why don't you just start off by telling me a bit about your wrestling journey. I mentioned you've been wrestling for 3 years, so kind of how did that all come about for you?
Yeah, my wrestling journey started late in life. Prior to getting into wrestling, I had been playing baseball pretty much my entire childhood life, teenage life, adult life. It was a big part of who I was, everything like that. Right before COVID, my baseball team kind of fell apart. The same guys I'd been playing baseball with for years and years and years. Everybody decided to, I don't know, do different things. Some got married, some started families, some moved away, and I was kind of left looking for something new to try, something new athletically, something that I'd never done before. And I had always been in love with wrestling. And I had a friend of mine actually tell me that the Lionsgate Dojo was actually just located like blocks from my house. And I had no idea about the pro wrestling like scene here in Vancouver and where it was at or anything along those lines. But I was down to try something new, and I went and I signed up for the tryout. It kept getting pushed back time after time due to like the COVID regulations and everything like that that were coming into effect. But once it finally came time, I went. I did the tryout. It's by far the hardest thing that I've done athletically in my life. But I passed. I passed, and I started training with the Lionsgate Dojo. And about a year after that, I started working actual wrestling matches, and it's been the best thing I've ever done in my life. I can honestly say that hands down.
Fantastic. Well, that's amazing. That's a very similar story to a lot of the folks in 365 that I've interviewed and outside 365 as well. It was just there's a lot of folks that started a little later in life for sure. And it was like something they always kind of wanted to do or was always interested in. And then they just had this great opportunity to join Lionsgate Dojo or the Pro Wrestling Academy and just have a great opportunity to try something completely different and new in their lives. That's so awesome. So the Lionsgate Dojo, I want to talk a little bit about that because, of course, lots of stellar talent out of that dojo, right? Like
so many good wrestlers.
I mean, Artemis Spencer, Nicole Matthews. Who else have we got? Name some.
Yeah, Billy Swade. You had Tony Baroni. Those are our 4 main coaches right there at the dojo. So, I mean, all of them different style of wrestling with every single one of them. All of them is, I will say, expert level at some point or at some very specific part of the art of wrestling. And to be able to learn from all 4 of them has been an amazing opportunity. Prior to that, too, Kat Power was part of the coaching staff as well. She herself, phenomenal wrestler. So, I mean, you can't ask for a better coaching staff, I believe, than what was the original 5 of them. And now down to 4 with the occasional coaching from Elliot Tyler as well. He's now an assistant coach. And we have some that are coming up as well. We got Evan Rivers, Miles DeVille that are stepping in to do some substitute coaching and stuff like that when our coaches are out of town. So it's absolutely phenomenal to have those guys around.
Wow. Like, I mean, it would be hard to not succeed in that type of an environment with that kind of talent around you, even just by osmosis, almost like just being amongst them.
I mean, if they're not part of your training class, if they're there to teach you as well, like they're always, it's always learning. Like, I mean, the slogan in the training, like, metaphor, or not metaphor, sorry, the slogan of the dojo is that training never ends. And it's so true. It doesn't. Like, you're a wrestler, but you're forever a wrestler. You're always learning new things from different people, whether it be in a class or on the road actually wrestling. You're always taking things in and trying to better your craft and share that with other people, yourself.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, I see that definitely at the Pro Wrestling Academy too. And I feel like the people who are in this position of teaching other people, like they are genuinely invested in each and every one of their students. They're genuinely, rooting for them and wanting their success and putting everything into training them. And it's such a great thing to see. And the students, as I'm sure you can relate to, definitely appreciate that level of dedication from the
Oh, a
teacher.
thousand percent. I mean, like from the baseball background, I came from like competitive sports where people are competing with those for positions and stuff like that. And in the wrestling world, sure, like wrestling is competitive. You're all competing for spots on wrestling shows, but the actual community itself is so welcoming and more so supportive compared to anything else that I've ever done in my entire life. Training rather than competing with one another, you're helping one another. You're trying to make each other better wrestlers, to have better matches, and to just get better all around. It's amazing. It's nothing like I've ever seen before.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's inspiring to see. I mean, I'm not going to be a wrestler.
Oh, come on
Not
now.
my,
Come
it's
on.
not my jam. I got these little tiny wrists that seem very breakable to me. So I'm just gonna, keep the safe distance. I like what I'm doing, being the intern, that's for sure. So far, I mean, 3 years around wrestling. Is there a particular career highlight?
Oh, who I have a couple actually, for different reasons. I mean, here when I first got into wrestling, I said to myself that I would be happy with one match in front of a live crowd. And as soon as that happened, you're addicted to it. You become addicted to it, and you want to get better, and you want to have bigger and better matches. So I mean, career highlights. It's individual. My first match was actually in the United States. It was for 5cc wrestling, with amazing promoter Logan. I got to work with three people from our dojo and one person from Portland, I believe, that all came. We had an amazing five-way scramble match. It was most of our first matches, or first or second for most of us, so that was a lot of fun. Progressing from there, I've also had goal like matches, like dream opponents, I should say, that I've been able to cross off like a bucket list of wrestlers. I've been able to wrestle Travis Williams. That's a huge deal to me, just to see where he's come from, the same area, to see where he's going now and where he's at is absolutely amazing. I've been able to wrestle Evan Rivers as well, Elliot Tyler, Casey Ferreira. All of those have been amazing matches for myself. Um, Other highlights, my debut with 365 was in my hometown of Duncan, where I had 40 of my friends and family and like aunts, uncles, cousins, family, friends, everybody there, which was a big deal to me. I mean, living here on the mainland, it's just myself and my immediate family that live here. So to try and get people to come over here to watch was a little bit difficult, but just basically to head over there and have everybody in one place. And I'm so thankful to 365 for that opportunity. That was 100% dream come true. Um,
Amazing. And did you say who you wrestled that night?
that night I wrestled Sawyer Stein. That was my first match, was against Sawyer, and amazing wrestler. He's a great kid, a lot of talent, a lot of fun to be around as well. The entire 365 locker room is fantastic. But that for my first match there, I couldn't have asked for a better opponent. It was awesome.
Amazing. So you mentioned a couple highlights. Is there another one you want to talk about?
Oh, well, there's a few. I mean, here, like Boom Pro Wrestling. My first actual match in front of like a crowd was at basically it was a Dojo Wars, which is like our school show. But it took place at the Boom Pro Wrestling venue here in Vancouver, and we did a thing called Dojo Mania, was our big thing. So that was like all the lights, all the spectacle of it all was absolutely amazing. And I actually got to wrestle one of my real life best friends in Alan Jepson, for that match as well, which was also a nice little bucket list thing to have as well. I've been able to travel around a lot with a very good group of friends that I have. I get to hang out with Tommy Chan, Ren Yoshino, Rashad Tyson, travel around with them very often, actually. So that in its own, just the road trips, you hear stories from your coaches about the road trips and stuff like that. And we'll have those experiences and stuff like that with them has been another career highlight for me as well.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, the road you hear a lot about people bonding, traveling together from place to place, and it's a really bonding experience. From what I understand, for those that are driving around to all these different shows on the weekends, right?
It really is. And I mean, with those three specifically, I mean, we're all wrestlers that kind of joined later in life. I mean, they themselves all in like their 30s, myself in my 40s. Actually, I will say Ren's older than me, so I don't feel so bad. But yes, I mean, we come into wrestling where we just want to have fun with our friends and put on amazing matches. It's we know where the line stands for us. Like we don't have the ambitions or the expectations to be going to like WWE or anything along those lines. So we're here for what it is, and we're enjoying every moment of it and just having the best time together. It's been great.
I love that. Yeah, I've heard people say, well, I've heard a wrestler in particular say, I just want to achieve like a moderate amount of local fame. Just a little, be like a little bit of micro celebrity and just kind of have people come to your shows and just like cheer for you and buy your merch and
That's
all that.
exactly it. I've been able to cross off so many of like the little goals that I have had in even just like the 3 years that I've actually been wrestling. It's been fantastic. As I cross them off, there's smaller little goals and stuff like that that get added on to it. But yeah, just coming into it with again with that original goal of just having one match in front of people, and now that's expanded over 3 years now. And so I think I'm like 126 matches or something like that. I think into my career now, and it's been fantastic.
I love that. I love that. So what are your stats like? How many wins? How many losses?
Oh,
Do you know?
I'm a heel. I lose all the time, but I take pride in that in the sense though, because I'm very happy to put over the baby faces and put on a good show. I still know at the end of the match, even being pinned for like the three counts, as long as that crowd cheers, we did our job. So I mean that's exactly the goal in mind every night. Sure, I would love to win more matches. I would love to hold some titles, but I mean just that in its own, just hearing the crowd cheer at the right times and boo when they're supposed to, just being able to do that is fantastic. I love it.
It really is. And as a spectator, it's a magical thing to be a part of, to watch, to feel swept up in as well, like almost inexplicably, especially when you're watching wrestlers that are, like yourself, a heel, but like a nice person in real life, right? So like you're like you feel bad booing them, but you do because that's part of it, right? So it's
Absolutely. It's so funny like bringing like my family to shows because they want to cheer for me, but I have to tell them I'm a bad guy. You need to boo me. So I always hear them the loudest though. They do their job. They know their part. So they know that the boos are appreciated by me. It means I'm doing my job. So
for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's so fun to be a part of that and to watch how the wrestlers react to when they know that it's what they're doing in the ring is having the effect that they want it to have. It's like
absolutely.
this like cycle that just keeps building and building and building right up to this just like amazing ending, whatever that happens to be in the ring for sure. Okay, so I think we have to take a little commercial break here. So if you don't mind, we'd love to have you stick around for another segment if you're in town.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love to.
Excellent. All right, don't you guys go anywhere. We are going to be right back with more Caring About Wrestling and Rex Rothschild. And we are back. You are watching Caring About Wrestling on the 365 Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. My guest this evening is Rex Rothschild. We are in segment number 2. We're talking a lot about wrestling, having a great conversation. So I wanted to ask you, so as we've talked about, you're kind of a late in life wrestler, but Like, what do you think your 10-year-old self would think about what you're doing right now?
Wow. Great question. 10-year-old me would be ecstatic to know that I tried this. Wrestling was always huge for me. I mean, like I'm literally as old as WrestleMania itself. My first one of like my first wrestling memory is actually watching Saturday Night Main Event with my dad. I had to have been maybe 5 years old, and it was the Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man splitting up and about to start their big rivalry before WrestleMania. So I mean, wrestling has always been a big thing. My parents very much buying like wrestling action figures, everything like that for me. So I always loved it growing up. So I mean, 10-year-old me would be absolutely ecstatic to know that I tried this, that I'm doing it in my life at some point in time, even if it's late.
Aw, yeah, your 10-year-old self will be super proud. What advice would you give that 10-year-old self?
Ooh, just be patient. Wrestling is very difficult. It's very difficult to learn. It's hard. It's hard on the body. It's fun. It's everything you think it could be and more. So just be patient. Let wrestling come to you. Take it for what it is. Don't try and rush the process. Don't rush it at all.
It's very good advice. Very good advice. So what was like the best part and worst parts of training for you?
Ooh, the best part I will always, or the best part of wrestling to me is the community of people that we have. Like whether it's other wrestlers, whether it's the promoters, whether it's the fans, the people there for production. It's a family, and that's the part that I love. The best part was that building community of friends. I was the first training class post COVID. We had a tryout of 10 people. All of us passed training, all of us passed the tryout and began training. Lots of people have since fallen off or have quit. There's only 4 people left from my original class that are still working today, and we're all very good friends. Like that's still my favorite part is the community. The hardest part I would say is the physical toll on my body. I always tell myself that I wish I would have found this earlier in life because I believe maybe my body would have adapted to it a lot faster. Um, um, but I don't know. It's all worth it. Like your bumps are the exciting part. I think to me. I mean, as hard as they are and as rough as they can be, you learn to do them properly. So it does eventually start hurting less and less. But that was the big thing for me was the physical part of it and the toll that it took on my body.
Yeah, no doubt. That's definitely a common theme amongst trainees as
Yeah.
well. Like just the physical exertion and the stamina that you have to
Yes.
spend however many minutes in a ring with somebody going full throttle the whole time and all, doing all these crazy moves. So yeah, have you suffered any injuries?
Oh, yes. My first month, actually, just in training, I broke my ankle, and I was out for 6 weeks from that. I immediately, well, I came back pretty much as soon as I was told I was allowed to come back and start training. I came back again, and I ended up spraining the other ankle, protecting the damaged one. So I had those back to back, and during that time, I thought about quitting. I had my moments, like, is this going to be a constant thing for me, or is this just like a freak double accident back to back. But I had to go back. I couldn't quit. I hadn't had my match yet. So I had to come back and continue to train until just do that one match. Since then, since actually working, I've dislocated fingers. I've separated my shoulder. I've had stitches in my face a few times in my lip. Thankfully, nothing overly serious, knock on wood, other than the ankles. So, yeah, I'd say those are the main ones.
Well, that's quite a number of
Yeah,
injuries,
for only 3 years in. Oh my goodness.
but clearly you're not letting that dissuade you from moving forward. So
Not at all.
yeah, I mean, you see a lot of injuries. So let me ask you, so you mentioned stitches. So we see a lot of, well, not a lot, we've seen a few hardcore matches
Yeah.
with 365. Is that something that you are interested in participating in or have participated in?
I'm not against the idea of it. I've only done one hardcore match, and it was for Canadian Apex Wrestling here on the mainland. We did a show around Halloween time where we did a fans bring the weapons battle royal.
Oh, wow.
Something I'd never heard of in my entire life. So that's what we did. and I can't remember what number I entered at. I was like still at the beginning, maybe number 5 or 6. And I remember just even rolling into the ring, and I had thumbtacks all up my thigh just to even start the match. I stand up from that, and somebody hits me in the face with an oscillating fan, and then proceeds to whip me with the cord from it. And it finished by me getting power bombed through a table, and that's how the match ended. Was that so? I mean, I made it to the final two, I guess, of my first hardcore match. But I mean, it's fun. It's interesting. Like I know it has its place in wrestling shows. If I ever have a blood feud or like a feud that on goes with like somebody for a long period of time, and that's the only way to blow it off, I'm open to it. Just as I don't know, I guess as an everyday wrestling match type, not my favorite, but there's always a place for it. So I'm definitely open to the idea.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to watch. The first hardcore match I ever watched was with 365, and I was pretty shocked. I can't lie. I was pretty shocked with what I was seeing and the amount of blood that was flowing in a very short amount of time. But you're right, it does have its place, and I think it's as long as it's not something that you're trotting out at every single show. I
Exactly.
think yeah, I think and then it's really impactful when it does happen, and fans go absolutely crazy for it. So
That's
what about other
exactly how
types?
I feel.
Yeah, so what about other types of hardcore matches like tables, ladders, chairs, or
I'm
um,
into any sort of match type that there is. I mean, I do have like a bucket list of match types that I would like to do as well. I have been lucky enough to be in a cage match. I did a show for All Star Wrestling about a year ago, where we did a single cage war game style match with we did eliminations in it, which was a lot of fun actually. To say now that I participated in a cage match, I would like to do another one. Maybe it's just like a singles or like a tag team match in a cage. A table, ladders, chairs match would also be fantastic. I'm game for any sort of match type that's in there, but those are the main ones that are on my bucket list to cross off.
that's you got to have a different level of bravery, in my opinion, to go to that extreme, and I have a lot of respect for people that do. What about, like, have you ever seen or thought about participating, or is it on your bucket list, like a no ropes match?
Ooh, I sort of I haven't actually participated in the match yet. WrestleCore, another fun company here on the mainland, did a show where they replaced the ropes with chains, and they had chains up for all of the ropes. And I just remember like setting up before the show, and we needed to try the chains on it to see what it was like. So we put the chains on, and I attempted to run the chains the way you would bounce off the wrestling ropes. And oh my gosh, it was a completely different feeling, but also kind of fun at the same time. I don't know. So any sort of gimmicky sort of idea to change up wrestling, I fully support. It always seems like fun. That was my first introduction to something that way, so I'd be into that. And if you want to take the ropes off, sure, by all means. There's actually a couple promotions in the United States that do like no rope, basically no ring wrestling, and it looks like a lot of fun because it's a lot more character work and stuff like that, as opposed to being able to use the ring to put on your matches. So I'm totally open to those ideas as well.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, I would really like to see that. That would be very interesting. The chains also sounds pretty badass. I would like to see that.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about motivation. You
Sure.
have to be motivated and disciplined to do wrestling.
Yep.
So what motivates you? How do you stay on track?
The motivation for me actually comes a lot from seeing my peers and where they are at in wrestling. Being able to see people like Travis Williams, Judas Icarus, Evan Rivers, Miles DeVille, Sebastian Wolf, all having amazing matches with various different companies, some receiving like contract signings to various different organizations and stuff like that. That's my motivations. I want to be the best wrestler that I can be. Again, I have no expectations to make it to that level at all, but they themselves motivate me on a daily basis. Just checking their social media and seeing where they are in the world, traveling and who they're wrestling and stuff like that. That's the motivation. Motivation comes and goes, is what they say. Dedication is what keeps people stuck to what they're doing. And me, the dedication to it is Fun with friends, I'd say. Like I want to go and participate in every wrestling show that I possibly can. I want to have any match that's available to me, and that's it. I'm dedicated to it. Um, I don't know, to that extent. I just want to continue to have fun. I owe it to myself, I would say, to continue to do this for as long as I can. So that's my dedication.
I love that. Yeah, it's interesting. Everybody kind of has a very different answer for what motivates them, but it all comes down to just really just challenging themselves and just trying to be better,
A
than they
hundred
were.
percent.
Yeah. So how do you handle setbacks though? You mentioned a couple injuries. Like how do you mentally handle a setback?
For me, the hard part with the injuries is I've noticed with others, like friends that have been injured more so recently. A lot of people who get injured remove themselves from wrestling completely, and that was something that I couldn't do. I wanted to stay in it as best I could. So even with my broken ankle, once I was put into like a walking cast, I was going and just sitting in on training days and watching and trying to take in as much as I could. I was still going to wrestling shows and trying to find ways to help out the best way that I could, or at least be at the shows and watch and still be able to take that stuff in. So I mean, the setbacks, it's more so mental than it is physical. Like the injuries will heal. The mental part of it to me was I didn't want to remove myself from that. I still wanted to stay. I still wanted to be part of the community. I still wanted to attend shows. So that's what it was for me. That's how I handled it. Was kind of by immersing myself almost even more and forcing myself out of the house to continue to go so that I didn't lose those connections and that I wasn't missing out on the training and the opportunities and stuff like that.
You bring up a good point, and it's something that I've observed myself in the time that a lot of the wrestlers I talk to. Obviously, we talk about injuries and setbacks; it's kind of part of the game. But where you mentioned like some people go to
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll?
Sorry about that, guys. We took a little unexpected commercial break to deal with a little technical difficulty that sometimes happens with the internet, as everybody I'm sure is aware. But anyway, so we were talking about handling setbacks, and I was just mentioning that it's definitely the extreme of some people who avoid wrestling altogether and completely walk away from it while they're rehabilitating or whatever, and then other people who try to find ways to stay involved even if they can't actually be in the ring. Oh, sorry, something. We're experiencing all kinds of technical
That's okay.
difficulties tonight. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Um, let's move on to something else. Let's talk about your time at 365.
Sure.
Did you experience any particularly hard chops? And if you did, who were they from?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think I probably give harder chops than I think I've taken.
Okay.
Um, I think it's one of my specialties. I think I'd say the
Okay.
hardest chop that I think I took was probably from Malik Mello. I
Oh,
think he hit me with a series of them. We had a match in Cedar. I think he hit me with
okay.
like four in a row, and my goodness, those were some big boy chops right there. But yeah, I believe I got him back just as good, if not worse, than how he got me. So
Was that in Cedar just this past weekend?
no, it was I believe the first Cedar show actually. So I believe 2 months ago.
Okay. Yeah, Malik is a big dude. Yeah, so
Yes.
it would have been interesting to see that little exchange in the ring for sure. So what about tag teams? Have you been involved in any tag teams? Is tag team something you'd like to be involved in?
I love tag team wrestling. Here on the mainland, I am in a tag team. I'm in a tag team called the Big Stack Bullies with the Gambler Brace Low. Him and I, he's one of the wonderful guys that started with me in the same training class. Actually, we did the tryout together. We trained together. So we just had that immediate chemistry together, where we were almost set from day one, where we would like to be a tag team together. So we've been able to do that. I'm also trying to start a second tag team with Sebastian Wolf as well. We're trying to get see if 365 would be interested in bringing us over for that one, and bringing it to a couple other places around here as well. I love the dynamic of tag team wrestling. I love how it's different from singles. You can tell some different stories or tell stories in a different way, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you wrestle next time you're here on the island for sure. So we've spent quite a bit of time chatting about wrestling as we do on a wrestling podcast, but um, the fans want to know some things about, who you are as a person and all that good stuff as well. So let's talk a little bit about some personal stuff. So
Sure.
what do you do when you're not wrestling?
When I'm not wrestling, I'm at the gym a good portion of my time. Before I got into wrestling, well, after I don't know, I guess after around my college years, I came home and got kind of depressed, and I ballooned up by just eating my feelings and got to near like 300 pounds. So it took a little while, but once I had a friend kind of talk me back into going to the gym has become a nice, wonderful place for me. It's a place to get exercise. It's a place to feel good about myself mentally, physically, everything there. So I spend a lot of time at the gym. I work a lot as well. My regular 9 to 5 job, I'm a 911 operator. So I do that fairly often as well. And when I'm not working or at the gym, I don't know, what can you find me doing? You can find me playing video games, you can find me watching movies. I'm very much a homebody. So yeah, I'd like to be at home.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about the 911 operator thing, because that's not like a common job that you hear people just throwing about, like, hey, I'm a 911
Yeah.
operator. So, is this something you've been doing for a long period of time?
Yeah, I've been at it for almost 15 years, I guess, of doing it. It's been super interesting. I'd say the best part about the job is that no 2 days are ever the same. It's always different. Each call is different. It's very self-rewarding in terms of being able to help your community and help the people that are probably phoning you on like the worst day of their lives. So I mean that it's I take a great sense of pride in the job that I do. I love it. Yeah, it's been great. It's been absolutely awesome.
And so, how does one go about becoming a 911 operator?
Ooh, we're always hiring because we're always short staffed. It's you basically you apply. They bring you in for some testing. Like there's some like minimal requirements that you require, whether it just be typing or whether it be problem solving or something along those lines. They have different typing or like just basically general, I don't know, multitasking sort of exams that you kind of have to do. And once you pass those, they send you away for training. You go to like a site for us here. It's out in Chilliwack. So you go out there, you stay there for a couple weeks, and every day for your 8 hours a day, they're teaching you how to be a 911 operator. And whether it's be doing pretend like mock phone calls or something along those lines, they try and give you is the most immersive experiences they can to get you ready for the job.
That sounds rewarding, but also mildly terrifying, I would think, to some degree.
It is. I mean, not every call is gonna end on a happy note. Some don't. I mean, myself currently dealing with some PTSD from a call that took place a little while ago. But I mean, the wonderful part is our benefits. Yeah, the workplace, they care about you as employees, and they always want to get you the kind of help that you need. So yeah, so I mean, through that, I have found other things. I found therapy, which has been an amazing thing, a great way to talk myself through this whole PTSD as well as personal life problems and stuff like that as well. So I mean, it's been awesome. It's been an adventure.
No doubt. And I imagine I've known a few first responders in my life, and PTSD is something that's fairly common with people, as you would imagine. Dealing with other people's trauma is just as traumatizing as your own trauma, for sure. Um, and so, yeah, it's great that you do have benefits and a way to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health. Because I imagine that the burnout rate is pretty high
That's why we're always short staffed, is that the burnout rate is very, very high, in a very on-demand position like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
So are there certain things that you do to try to be able to kind of leave work at work to create more of a balance, or, to take care of your mental health that way?
I've been very good for the most part of like my career and leaving work at work. I've had great family relationships. Like my father himself, he's a retired police officer. So even getting into the job, he was the one who told me, don't make work your life. Make sure that you have things outside of the job that keep you sane, essentially. So I mean, wrestling has been a lifesaver, I would say. Finding my community of people and being able to kind of focus on that and have things to look forward to in the wrestling world has been amazing. It's been such a great thing for me physically, mentally, every way there is to kind of feel good about yourself. The gym is another one as well. Like I'm lucky enough to have a gym at my workplace. So when I'm on like my lunch break or whatnot, I'm able to go to the gym and deal with things that way there too. Just let things out, de-stress. So that's a thing that I really enjoy as well. The gym helps mentally, physically, every way that you can be helped, you can find it there.
It really does. Like physical activity of any kind is just so good for your mental health. It just really is. For me, pardon, during the pandemic, I really had to like focus on doing something active every single day, to kind of like discharge all that like anxious energy that was building up in me. And, it's just a way of like releasing that and, being more present in the physical activity, getting out of your head and into your body, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Yeah. It sounds like we kind of have a similar, philosophy around that kind of stuff. So,
Absolutely.
um, yeah. So, do you travel a lot?
For wrestling, yes. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
traveling almost every weekend. Basically everywhere from here to the island to I guess as far south as Portland, I guess.
Okay.
Every weekend, like I've been very lucky with the amount of wrestling matches and stuff that I've had and the opportunities I've been given by all the different promotions that I've worked for. And I'm very thankful for every opportunity that I get. So I mean, on a weekend, you can be in three different cities, three different nights, and that in its own is amazing. In my personal life, I haven't done a lot of traveling. I did in my younger days. I was able to travel quite a bit. Just in North America, I've never really traveled too far abroad. I've been to Mexico. I've been all over the United States. I am planning a trip to California that I'm going to do. That's this June. I'm pretty excited for that.
Where are you
Um,
going in California?
Disneyland.
Woo.
It's my favorite place on the planet. So any chance I get to go spend some time, I'm a big nerd for anything like Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, all that sort of stuff. So
Love
if I
it.
can go hang out in one place that has everything, I'm gonna go nerd out like there's no tomorrow.
I love that so much. I love Disneyland, but I've never been there. But I want to go. Definitely want to go. But if you could like go anywhere in the world, if you could book a ticket today and like cost wasn't a factor, time wasn't a factor, where would you go?
Ooh, good question. On my bucket list of places to travel, Japan is up there. I want to go see Japanese wrestling, of course, and Japanese baseball, and just experience a completely different culture, as well as the food. I'm a big fan of anything any like, Japanese food, sushi, anything like that. I'm a big fan of. I would love to go to. Um, I don't know. I'd love to go to Europe. I mean, there's nowhere in the world that I wouldn't want to go to. I'm also a fan of history. So being able to see world history and not just like North American or Canadian history would be a big deal to me as well. Um, and then those I can't remember what they're called, but those fun little island places where you can go stay in the cool little huts where you get the blue water. I can't remember what those islands are called, but they're very much there just to relax.
Yes, all of those places sound amazing for sure, for sure. So let's see, what else do we got here? Do you have an emotional support television show by any chance?
Ooh, well, actually, I can't say it's an emotional support television show because it completely destroyed me emotionally. Um, but I finished watching Yellowstone probably about like a month or so ago, and now I'm getting into like the prequel shows. So I just
Okay,
finished what 1882 or 87 or whatever it is, and that
right.
destroyed me emotionally. It's such a good show though.
Really?
It's absolutely awesome. I highly recommend it to anybody. but
Okay.
I'd probably say something that I can put on just anytime just to have going is Superstore. It's a fun little comedy show that basically takes place at what you would consider to be a Walmart, and just
Yeah.
various employees and customers that you would find showing up there on a day-to-day basis.
I actually really like that show. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very yeah, super funny, really written. The characters are great. Yeah, it's and there's also some really like touching moments in that as well, which is
Absolutely.
also awesome. So, what never fails to make you laugh?
Ooh, I probably, oh goodness. I'd say my parents. My parents are a huge part of my life. They've been super supportive in everything that I've done, especially in the wrestling world as well. So I mean, just the two of them. They've been married for 51 years now, which is kind of unheard of for marriages nowadays. So I have so much love and respect for the two of them. So any chance that I get to hang out with them, especially if I'm feeling sad, down, or emotional, they always find ways to cheer me up. And I have the best time. I have the best time with my family. They know how to make me laugh, and yeah, they're just amazing.
Aw, that's so nice. Yeah, my parents have been married about that long too. And you're right, it is kind of rare
Very
uh,
rare.
these days. So you mentioned that you're kind of a huge nerd. I myself am considered a huge nerd. Star Trek or Star Wars? Do you have like a preference?
Star Wars, 100% Star Wars.
Okay, okay. And so do you just totally wholesale reject Star Trek, or you're
Not at
just
all. It's I was more, I'd say, based off just my, well, actually no, I did watch both as a child. I was a Star Wars fan myself. My dad was a Star Trek fan. So I
okay?
did watch a lot of like Next Generation with him.
Yeah,
I just enjoyed Star Wars more so for the movies, now more so for the TV shows.
yeah.
I love what Disney is kind of doing since buying them. Like I love Andor, I think, is the best
Yes.
Disney series out there, as well as just the Rogue One movie. Like those to me are the best things that have come out of Star Wars.
Of all of the Star Wars stories, for sure, Rogue One, my absolute favorite. I remember watching Star Wars, the episode 4, the first one that came out when I was a child,
Yep.
and wondering always what happened like right before that? Like what brought that us to this moment where, Darth Vader's like invading this ship and
Yeah.
whatever, right? So, yeah, so I loved Rogue One because it kind of tied everything together. And also episode 3, there's a lot of problems with the prequels, right? But like
Yeah.
episode 3 was good because it kind of told that story of like Anakin actually turning to the dark side. So, do you have a favorite? So you mentioned obviously Rogue One, but out of the original like 3 trilogies, do you have a favorite movie?
Ooh, yeah, I will probably say Empire is probably my favorite movie.
Okay.
That mostly actually just because of my nephew. I have, well, he's 21 now, but my nephew, when he was a kid, we would watch that on TV, and he would always make me fast forward the Jabba the Hutt scenes because he was terrified of Jabba. So that's probably why it's my favorite of the original trilogy. Just for that, because it makes me giggle anytime I see Jabba on the screen. I just think of him. So
No doubt. Yeah, he was pretty scary to me too as a child. I was like, ugh, I don't want this giant slug thing anywhere near me. What's up? All right. So believe it or not, we are down to the end of our interview. It's hard to believe the time went so fast when you're having fun, right?
okay. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay. So this is the time of the interview where we do the lightning round.
Okay.
So just some rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to your mind. Don't think
Sure.
about it too much. Just answer the question. You ready?
Ready.
Excellent. All right. Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Optimist or pessimist?
Ooh, pessimist.
Favorite board game?
Hungry, hungry hippos.
Yes. Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee.
Favorite snack food?
Ooh, chips.
Nice. Any particular flavor?
Oh, actually, they're just the plain original rippled chips that you can get at Dollarama. I don't know why, but they're amazing.
Excellent. Excellent. Favorite smell?
Favorite smell, vanilla.
Nice. Favorite color?
Pink.
Favorite animal?
Ooh, bears.
Nice. Any particular type of bear?
Polar bear or grizzly? Both of those are, yeah.
Fierce. Apples or bananas?
Bananas.
Cilantro, yes or no?
No.
Texting or talking?
Texting.
Favorite day of the week?
Ooh, Saturday.
Nice. Last song you downloaded?
Oh, last song I downloaded. Oh, it's the new Morgan Wallen song. I can't remember what it's called, but that one.
Okay. Invisibility or super strength?
Oh, I would take invisibility.
Nice. Favorite kind of soup?
Um, ooh, favorite kind of soup? Probably chicken noodle.
Nice. Classic. Ask permission or beg forgiveness?
Beg for forgiveness.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Nice. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Favorite number?
11.
Nice. That, believe it or not, was the lightning round. You did excellent. You probably answered those questions faster than anybody else so far. I'm very proud
Thank you.
of your performance here this evening. If people want to get a hold of you on the socials, how do they do that?
The socials, Instagram, just Rex Rothschild. Facebook, I believe is the same, or there might be a number 1 at the end of it. I'm not clearly. I don't think there's any other Rex Rothschild out there, but so I think that's what it is. But Instagram's the best way. Everything. That's where I communicate. That's where I post. Everything is all on there.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rex. You've been an excellent guest. I've had a great time chatting with you.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Excellent. And hopefully we will chat again soon. I'd love to have you back as a guest.
I would love that. Thank you very much.
Excellent. All right. Everyone out there, that is it. Another edition of Caring About Wrestling. We'll see you next time. Bye.